Right, so Honda's finally jumping into the Indian electric scooter market.
Yeah.
It seems like kind of late to the party.
Yeah, a little bit.
When you think about how many electric scooters are already like zipping around India.
Right.
But that's what makes this deep dive so interesting.
For sure.
Why now?
Yeah.
What took them so long? And what are they bringing to the table now?
Mm-hmm.
We've got this recent article announcing the unveiling of not one, but two new electric scooters. And they're designed just for India.
Interesting.
The Activa E and the QC1.
Okay.
So what do you think? I mean,
Right.
Honda's a giant in the motorcycle world.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're just now getting into this already like bustling Indian electric scooter market.
Yeah, it's definitely a strategic move, considering how crowded the market already is with all these established players like Ola Electric and Author. Honda's bringing their whole, legacy of motorcycle manufacturing to a market that's like hungry for reliable and stylish electric alternatives.
Yeah, it seems like they're not just dipping their toe in the water.
Yeah.
They're going all in with these two very distinct scooters.
Right.
And this article highlights some really interesting features, especially with the Activa E.
Okay.
It's got a swappable battery system.
Interesting.
Which seems like a bold move when you think about the existing charging infrastructure in India.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
On the one hand, you're tackling the issue of limited home charging options.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't have to have a place to plug it in. Riders could just swap out a depleted battery for a fully charged one at some designated station.
Right.
But the success of this whole model hinges on Honda's ability to create a robust and accessible network of swapping stations.
Right.
Can they pull that off?
Yeah.
I mean, if they can, that could be a game changer.
For sure.
It makes you wonder, have they been watching how other companies have tackled it?
Yeah.
And now they're ready to like roll out their own solution.
Interesting.
Okay, so the Activa E has got this swappable battery, but what else is going on under the hood?
So the article mentions that it boasts an impressive acceleration.
Okay.
It goes from 0 to 60 km per hour in just 7.3 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, that puts it right up there with some of the sportier electric scooters currently available. Plus, it's got a claimed range of 102 kilometers on a single charge.
Okay.
It seems like Honda's aiming for that balance of performance and practicality.
I mean, that range is pretty competitive, right?
Yeah.
Even surpassing some of the existing models out there. But real-world range can vary.
Oh, for sure.
Depending on a lot of different factors.
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see how those claims hold up once the Activa E actually hits the streets.
Yeah.
Now, the QC1, this one seems to be taking a slightly different approach.
Yeah, the QC1 seems to be geared more towards practicality and functionality. It's got a fixed battery.
Which means it relies on more traditional charging methods.
Right.
But it's got a bigger under-seat storage compartment.
Okay, interesting.
This might appeal to riders who prioritize cargo space, maybe delivery riders, or people who just need to carry more than just themselves.
Okay, so they're segmenting the market right out of the gate.
Yeah.
You've got the rider who wants that quick, tech-forward experience, and then you've got the rider who just needs a reliable workhorse.
Right.
And you know what else caught my eye?
What's that?
They're not skimping on the aesthetics.
Okay.
The article mentions 4 pearlescent color options and a matte silver.
Wow.
For both models.
That's a smart move.
Yeah.
Especially in a market like India, where style and visual appeal play a significant role.
Yeah.
They're not just utilitarian vehicles.
Right.
They're making a statement.
Absolutely. Who doesn't love a little flair with their ride?
For sure.
Okay, let's get down to like the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
The Activa E is available in 2 variants.
Right.
The Road Sync Duo and the base model. Okay.
This seems like a strategic way to target a wider range of buyers.
Yeah, exactly.
So the Road Sync Duo comes fully loaded.
Oh, wow.
With features like smartphone connectivity and a 7-inch TFT screen.
Nice.
While the base model offers a more simplified 5-inch screen and it skips the connectivity features.
Okay.
So they're appealing to both tech-savvy riders and those looking for a more budget-friendly option.
Right. It's a classic good, better, best model.
Yeah.
It's often a winning strategy in a diverse market.
But what about the price?
Right.
How do these scooters stack up against the competition?
Well, according to the article, the Activa E is expected to be priced around Rs 1.3 lakh.
Okay.
And the QC1 comes in at around RS1 lakh.
All right, so that puts them right in the thick of the competition.
Yeah, right in there.
Some models are cheaper. Some offer more premium features at a higher price point. It seems like Honda is trying to strike a balance, offering competitive pricing without undercutting their brand image. But how do you think these scooters will fare against the established players who already have a foothold in the market? I mean, they're going up against some fierce competition.
That's the million rupee question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Honda's brand recognition and their existing dealer network are definitely going to give them an advantage.
Right.
But they're going to have to convince Indian consumers that they really understand the unique needs and preferences of this market.
It's going to be fascinating to see how they position themselves against these agile startups who've been innovating in this space for a while now.
One thing that really stands out is that focus on battery swapping for the Activa E. It's a bold move. Could give them an edge if they can execute it effectively.
Right.
But it also raises questions about accessibility and reliability of their swapping infrastructure.
Right. And let's not forget about the QC1.
Right.
Which seems to be targeting a whole different segment with its focus on practicality and functionality.
Totally.
It'll be really interesting to see how both of these models perform once they're actually out there on the streets.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that brings us to another key point.
Okay.
How will Honda adapt to the evolving charging infrastructure in India?
Right.
Okay, that's a great point.
Yeah.
We talked about the swappable battery system, but let's dig a little deeper into this whole charging landscape and how it might impact these new scooters.
All right. So India's charging infrastructure, it's still kind of in its early stages of development. It's a mix of public charging stations, home charging setups, and now Honda's trying this battery swapping.
Right.
The QC1 with its fixed battery will probably rely on a combination of home and public charging, which presents its own set of challenges.
Yeah, you got limited access to reliable electricity in some areas.
Right.
And then how quickly is that public charging infrastructure going to expand to actually meet that growing demand? It's going to be interesting to see how Honda addresses these hurdles, especially for riders who might not have easy access to home charging.
Right. And don't forget the psychological aspect.
Yeah.
Range anxiety.
Oh, totally.
That's a real concern for people adopting EVs.
Yeah.
And the availability of those reliable charging options, it plays a huge role in easing those fears.
I feel like that's where Honda's established dealer network could really come into play.
Right.
If they can leverage those existing locations to roll out charging stations or battery swapping hubs.
Yeah.
That could be huge for them.
Absolutely. Imagine being able to just stop at your local Honda dealer to swap out a battery or top up your charge.
Yes.
It could make the transition to electric a lot smoother for people who are like a little hesitant about the whole charging infrastructure.
So it seems like they're trying to cover all the bases.
Yeah.
Different rider segments with their scooter designs, and then also addressing the charging infrastructure challenge in a way that leverages their existing strengths.
Yeah.
It's like a multi-pronged approach that could really shake things up.
It'll be interesting to see how consumers respond,
Right.
Will they embrace this battery swapping model for the Activa E, or will that reliance on a dedicated network be a deterrent?
Yeah.
And how will the QC1 with its more traditional charging approach, how will that fare against competitors who might already have like a strong charging network in place?
So many questions.
Oh.
I guess only time will tell.
Right.
But speaking of time, the article mentions that bookings for both scooters are going to open up on January 1st, 2025.
Okay.
With deliveries starting in February.
Right.
They're focusing on 3 major cities initially.
Okay.
Bengaluru, Mumbai, and Delhi.
Interesting.
What do you think about that strategy?
That's a smart move.
Yeah.
Those cities have a higher concentration of early adopters who are probably more likely to be open to trying out these new EV models.
Right. And those cities are also grappling with significant traffic congestion and pollution issues. So there's a strong push for cleaner transportation solutions.
Sure.
It seems like they're trying to pinpoint the areas where the demand for electric scooters is likely to be the highest.
Right.
And where they can really make the most impact from both a business and an environmental perspective.
Exactly. Starting with a focused rollout like that allows them to sort of test the waters, gather feedback, refine their strategies before expanding to other cities.
So it's like dipping their toe in before they jump in the pool.
Yeah, it's a calculated approach, mitigate some of the risks associated with entering a new market.
But even with a strategic rollout, Honda's still facing some stiff competition. What do you think they need to do to really stand out and win over those Indian consumers?
Well, apart from all the things we've already talked about, like the pricing and the charging infrastructure and the designs, I think after-sale service is going to be really crucial.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Indian consumers, they really value reliability, peace of mind, and a strong service network can really build that trust and loyalty.
It's one thing to sell a shiny new scooter.
Right.
It's another thing to actually provide that ongoing support and maintenance that makes it a smooth ownership experience.
Absolutely.
Honda's already got a good reputation in that area.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can leverage that to their advantage.
For sure. And let's not forget about the marketing and branding.
Oh, yeah.
Honda's going to need to effectively communicate, all the unique features and benefits of these scooters to Indian consumers, highlight the technology advancements, the environmental friendliness, and that overall value proposition.
You got to create a buzz
that
captures the imagination of potential buyers.
They got to tap into that excitement. It comes with that whole EV revolution.
It's not just about getting from point A to point B.
Right.
It's about being a part of something bigger.
Yeah.
Something that's contributing to a more sustainable future.
I think what's so fascinating here is that Honda's not just selling a product. They're selling a vision of the future. A future where transportation is cleaner. More efficient. More connected.
And that's a powerful message.
That could really resonate with a generation that's increasingly concerned about the environment. And the impact of their choices.
Honda has this legacy of innovation and engineering excellence.
Yeah, they do.
It gives them a really strong foundation to build upon.
They're sure.
They've got this track record of delivering vehicles that are reliable. Fuel efficient and fun to drive. And if they can translate that same spirit of innovation to the electric scooter market, I mean, they could really be a major force to be reckoned with.
I agree. And I think the success of these scooters, it's going to depend on how well they address the real world needs and aspirations of Indian riders. Do they provide a practical and affordable alternative to those traditional petrol scooters? Do they offer a sense of style and individuality? Do they ease that range anxiety and provide a seamless charging experience?
Those are the key questions.
I think so.
And I guess ultimately the answers are going to come from the riders themselves.
For sure.
Their experiences, their feedback, their choices will really shape the future of this exciting and rapidly evolving industry.
I think that's a perfect segue into our final thoughts.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
But we'd love to leave you with a few things to ponder as we wrap up this deep dive. So we talked about the scooters themselves, the tech, the competitive landscape, the whole charging infrastructure puzzle. But what does this all mean for the average person in India?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah. If we zoom out from the specs and the marketing and all of that, this is about how people live, work, and move around their cities. These scooters aren't just gadgets, they're potential solutions to real problems.
Like
pollution, traffic congestion, even the rising cost of fuel.
It's like we're at this crossroads, and these scooters represent a potential path towards a different kind of urban experience.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual riders either. Imagine the ripple effect. If a big chunk of commuters, delivery drivers, businesses made the switch to electric, we could see a noticeable decrease in air pollution, quieter streets, maybe even a shift in how cities are designed.
That's a really exciting thought, especially in cities like Delhi and Mumbai. Which are known for their air quality challenges.
Totally.
But there's some potential roadblocks too, right?
Oh, of course. Widespread EV adoption isn't going to happen overnight. There are still concerns about affordability, the charging infrastructure, and even just changing those ingrained habits. People are used to petrol scooters. And convincing them to switch. It takes more than just a cool new product.
It's about building trust. Providing education, addressing those practical concerns that people have.
And that's where Honda's brand recognition and that reputation for reliability could really be a game changer if people trust Honda. they're more likely to give these scooters a try.
Right.
Even if they're a little hesitant about EVs in general.
It's like having a familiar face.
Yeah.
Guiding you through a new and unfamiliar landscape. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
okay,
what's the one thing you want our listener to take away from this conversation?
I hope they come away with a sense of possibility.
Okay.
And understanding that the future of urban transportation is being written, like, right now.
Yeah.
These scooters are just one piece of a much larger puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to all of us, consumers, manufacturers, policymakers,
right,
to figure out how to put those pieces together in a way that benefits everyone.
Beautifully said. And for our listener, we'd love to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for these scooters when they hit the streets.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the conversations that are happening around them,
mm-hmm.
the excitement, the skepticism,
the
questions.
Right.
Because those conversations are shaping the future.
They are.
And your voice is a part of that equation.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Until next time, keep exploring.
If this tech tutorial was helpful, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. For more detail, you can visit our blog website www.evergreentechtips.com.